Casually Explained Rock Climbing. Casually Explained is back. Come on, man.
Hey guys, just remembered the answer to my password recovery question.
True.
Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've been working on a bit of a longer
Just make
project.
a video. LOL, you won't.
But in the meantime, I have lots more content that's coming out soon. While rock climbing might seem like a pretty self-explanatory concept, like a lot of sports, if you've never rock climbed before, it can be intimidating going to a gym for the first time and not being able to even hold the first jug on the easiest climb.
Easy.
This is why it's important to know the what's what and the do's and don'ts of how climbing is supposed to be done, so you can check yourself and avoid feeling attacked by onlookers giving you unsolicited
you got it.
Now,
Send
to start
it, man.
with the most famous
like when
type
people
of rock.
think about going to the gym, like, oh man, I don't look like I go to the gym yet, so why should I go to the gym? People gonna look at me weirdly, like, bro, nobody cares. One, nobody cares, and two, if they do care, they're the type to be like encouraging.
Rock climbing, we of course have free soloing, which is climbing outdoor rock faces with no
like
gear
the person
at all
who's climbing the
except your
building.
shoes,
I think I've seen a YouTube series of people climbing buildings. And I'm like, oh man, it's kind of raining right now. Let's get down. But I think those videos got like deleted or something. I want to react to one. I should react to one of these, right?
No shirt.
Whatever, I may do it
Maybe
after
your chalk
this.
bag if
May
you
do
happen
it.
to remember it that day. When anyone talks about free soloing, they all talk about Alex Honnold, who climbed
Oh
this
yeah,
bad
I think
boy
I've seen
without
him
a rope.
before.
Most people don't know why you would feel compelled to do that, but if you ever climbed to the top of the playground with no help,
Facts.
you know you've been chasing that dragon for decades. Free soloing is one of the most fulfilling types of rock climbing because you're basically guaranteed to die doing what you love,
Facts.
which is avoiding all social responsibility. Free
Facts.
soloing is of course respected as one of the coolest forms of rock climbing, because when we see a guy who repeatedly risks his own life for what he's deeply passionate about, we all think the same thing. I can fix him. For this reason, any variation of free soloing that incorporates outside assistance is known in the community as aid.
It's like his
For
stand-up.
example,
I can
if you
fix
use a harness with an ascender and ladder system to help you
This is his
climb,
stand-up.
this is such aid, it is literally known as aid climbing. It must be avoided at all costs if you're truly committed to becoming one with the wall. Some people do what's called trad, or traditional climbing, which is climbing those same big cliff faces but using a harness and rope in case they fall, where they typically place anchors on the route on the way up, and their trailing partner takes them out as they follow behind them. This, however, isn't real climbing, of course, because having a friend to go climbing with is clearly aid. In the words of Alex Honnold, I started free soloing in part because I was too anxious to ask other climbers to belay me.
What? According to Honnold, he didn't... Is this a real quote? He didn't have the confidence to ask famous free solo climbers if they would climb with him.
Now that's climbing. Then we have bouldering, which is one of the most popular types of climbing and my personal favorite, consisting of short, technical climbs that are done with nothing but chalk, climbing
So I've been doing that since I was...
Bouldering, along with free soloing, is the only type of outdoor climbing where climbers don't usually wear helmets, because a helmet obviously isn't going to help much if you're falling off El Capitan, but if a boulderer falls, they only fall a few feet, meaning when you bonk your head without a helmet onto the forest floor, your memory will be completely erased, so every attempt can be considered an homicide. At the end of the day, the two disciplines are pretty similar, because free soloing is just one really big boulder problem. If you've ever done indoor low ascent free soloing and a girl sees you find a knee bar on the overhang V5, you and Alex Honnold are practically the same person. He just has a bit more endurance. We of course have ice climbing, which is where climbers continually ascend frozen waterfalls by repeatedly pressing up B and throwing their partner 10 to 15 feet ahead of them until they summit. Well, that is admittedly impressive if you've ever looked at a frozen waterfall.
I don't remember not one Casually Explained video littered with this many jokes. Like of course there's jokes, but like...
Notice one thing right away. There isn't any rocks. In fact, there aren't any jugs, pinches, slopers, or even cracks.
You make your own thing.
There's just one big sheet of ice, and you get an ice pick to make your own holds. And I know you're thinking what I'm thinking. Being able to afford to go ice climbing is clearly aid. You at least get cool spiky crampons that are designed to stick into the wall when you lose your grip. So when you fall, you immediately break both your ankles and have to call the helicopter to rescue you again. It is extremely important that everyone tries ice climbing once, so you can then tell everyone you've been ice climbing. We also have competition speed climbing, which is a very niche form of climbing where you climb an internationally standardized route as fast as possible. A lot of criticism has been brought to speed climbing because of its inclusion in the Olympics, where you have to compete in speed climbing, bouldering, and lead climbing, and then your combined score is what puts you on the podium. Because almost no climbers actually train speed climbing normally, it's a bit like if javelin included a cheeky pint and a leg of darts, or if the Olympics didn't just count how many gold medals each country won, but also showed the body count each country's athletes racked up in the Olympic Village. One of the best known facts in rock climbing is that taking your shirt off increases your power level by 2 boulder grades. This
Orgies,
is why I climb with a baseball cap instead of a
Yes.
beanie, so I can turn it backwards if I need an extra boost. This is often combined with a technique called campusing, which is when you climb a route using only your hands and upper body. It's usually done around new climbers and your casual friends to suggest you could still outclimb them even if you were a paraplegic. Now, the big difference between a beginner climber and an advanced climber is that beginners train their fingers so they can improve their grip strength and climb harder grades of climbs, whereas advanced climbers make sure they train all their fingers because 2 of them are always injured, but they refuse to take time off from climbing. One of the great upsides of rock climbing is that if you do it long enough, you gain the power to easily take toast out of the toaster without feeling anything, because your fingers almost completely callous over. A lot of people suggest using a pumice stone to file them down, but the last time I did that, someone asked me if I was projecting my V3, and I have yet to recover from that. If you've ever been to a rock climbing gym with a lot of top roping, you'll notice they're often really popular date spots. But one of the things to keep in mind is that you'll really mess up your nails if they're not filed down. That means if you meet a girl and want to ask if she'd like to come and be your belay partner, you have to remember my golden rule. Long nails means her day would be ruined, and short nails means she's probably just a thoughtful lesbian. Better to keep your eyes peeled for a better opportunity, and stick to the auto belay instead. If you make it out to a climbing gym, you need to keep in mind there are 3 types of people the entire gym stops to watch. Fitness influencers in leggings who have just discovered the synergy between yoga pants and a harness, the guy who's easily 3 times heavier than his 5-foot-tall girlfriend who didn't tie into the floor anchor, and the shredded shirtless guy who's about to flash the hardest problem in the gym, then wander off aimlessly to do some Wing Chun shadow jutsu and grab the kilter board a couple times before leaving and never being seen again. If you do decide to try yourself, it's also important to look the part, but this is where it gets tricky because if you just assume, well, I guess I'll just dress like everyone else and wear a beanie, Patagonia shirt, nylon cargo pants, North Face fleece, and a Gore-Tex soft shell, you couldn't be walking a more dangerous line, because although to you it would appear you're simply another zebra in the Pacific Northwestern herd, you're literally one fatal mistake away from an overly friendly 30-year-old with forearm tattoos and a mustache buying you an IPA and telling you about Whistler. So pay very close attention to the crucial details of the outfit. Big beanie means snowboarder, normal beanie means rock climber, tiny beanie means skateboarder.
That's actually facts.
You should be safe now. Slap on some tiny colorful shoes that turn your feet into croissants and equip your belay glasses to catch anyone on the ceiling checking you out. But remember, if you're looking to become a lifelong climber, there's an ultimate price you'll have to pay. And that price is the ludicrous
That is
end.
crazy. I forgot about this man is a true climber. Like, I'm not even getting some of these references. I'm not like, cause I haven't climbed in probably like 5 years, 6 years, and last time I climbed it was just in an indoor thing. Like, it was there. Like, yo, let me do it real quick. You know what I'm saying? Ding the bell. Like, I'm not going to these professional climber things, but I've seen these glasses though. I think it was like the next dude up. He was like 30.
Climber, there's an ultimate price you'll have to pay.
Bro, come on,
and that price is the ludicrous annual gym membership. Don't be surprised if you need a second job just to fund the climbing fees in your cocaine bag alone. The last golden rule of rock climbing that you must remember at all times is that there is no injury that can't be solved with climbing tape. Torn tendon, peeled callus, broken finger, sunburn. All you have to do is wrap it around the affected area and never let a doctor look at it. If James Franco had some climbing tape in 127 hours, he could have just taped his arm back on and climbed out. Well, that would have saved him from having to go to the hospital. I should point out that the ascent obviously wouldn't have counted, as having 2 arms is clearly aid.
Facts. Having 2 arms is aid. Anything. Aid. Spike shoes. Aid. Come on, man. The handle. You should be gripping that, man. You should be gripping that ice with your calluses, man. With your hands. Stop playing. You know I'm not a true climber. Look at my hands, bro. Like, only have calluses like right here. I'm not a true climber. It'll be right here. It'll be all right here. Not a true climber, man. That's it, you know. I don't think I want to be a true climber, yo. Like, it's probably fun. It is fun. It's probably fun. But if I do become a climber, yo, I think I can't lie, yo. The building climbers, like, I want to be one of the building climbers, like the people who climb on skyscrapers, the people who climb on that stuff. But I'm too anxious for that. Like, I mean, you're more anxious when you think about it than when you're actually doing it. Facts. You're always more anxious when you think about it.